Today is the day you choose the best smartphone under 20,000 rupees. Now you may ask me why 20,000 rupees specifically and why now? Well, it's quite simple. I made the Nord Budget Showdown last week and that came to exactly under 30,000 rupees. And if you haven't watched that video, go check it out. I'll be having that linked in the description and at the top right corner. And reason 2 is I got a few requests to check out the Samsung Galaxy M31s, which is a budget smartphone from Samsung, which launched just a week ago in the Samsung Unboxed 2020 event. So it was a simple idea to make a video on, and I asked on Instagram if my followers wanted me to make a smartphone breakdown explanation video or a budget breakdown with competitor devices, and overwhelmingly it was for the budget breakdown. If you want to check out more of such content, go follow me on Insta. I'll have that linked below, and let's get started. Now before I start, I want to talk about a few points that make this video different from the previous one. In the previous one, I listed all the devices that were under the budget and were noteworthy, and then started the elimination process by removing the old devices. Here it was a bit more difficult because there are a lot of devices in this price range because the price is so competitive. So instead of going through the list of all the devices that come under this price point and then going to round 1 and eliminating all the old devices from 2019. Now why 2019, you ask? What's wrong with the phone being a year old is you do not get the whole software experience. That is, when the phone launches with 2 years of support, as in 2 versions of Android and another year of software patches. So if you are already buying a year-old phone, you lose out on 1 full year of support, which reduces the lifespan of your device. But we can hope for a better Android experience because Samsung has made a precedent when they announced the new Note 20 lineup that they will provide 3 years of support, that is 3 Android versions. So here's to hoping. But that was a tangent and I digress. Getting back to the topic, this lineup will be exclusively smartphone launched in 2020. So the hassle of which are the old devices, which are the new devices is removed. So let's get started. Alright. So to start off, we have the Vivo Y50 starting at 17,990. I have to interject over here and saying that many of these smartphones start with 4 gigs of RAM. I am going to ignore this 4 gigs of RAM model prices and I'll go up a tier because 4 gigs of RAM in 2020 is really not enough and it will be a bigger bottleneck to you in the future. So all the devices and the price points I'm going to announce will have either 6 or 8 gigs of RAM. So back to the devices. The Oppo F15 starting at 18,990. The Redmi Note 9 with only one model at 14,999. The Redmi Note 9 Pro again with only one model at 16,999. And finally the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max with a model at 16,999 and 18,499 and 19,999. So these are for the 6 gig 64 GB variant, the 6 gig 128 GB variant and the 8 gig 128 GB storage variant respectively. Coming down to Realme, we have the Realme 6 at 15,999, 16,999 and 17,999. So that is for the 6 gig 64 gig version, the 6 gig 128 gig version and the 8 gig RAM and 128 GB version respectively. Coming on to the 6 Pro, we have the price at 17,999, 18,999 and 19,999. So coming on close to the 20,000 budget with 6GB 64GB RAM, 6GB 128GB and 8GB 128GB respectively. Coming down to the Poco M2 Pro, starting at 14,999 and 16,999 with 6GB 64 and 6GB 128. Again with the Poco X2 at 17,499 and 18,499 with the 6GB 64 and the 8GB 64. Comes now the Samsung M31s, the one that launched last week, at 19,499 for the 6 and 128. It has an 8 and 128, but it is above the 20,000 mark, so I'm gonna ignore that. Again with the Samsung A21s at 17,499 for 6GB 64. And finally we have the Moto One Fusion Plus at 17,499 for the 6GB 128GB version. It's good to see Moto again in the lineup. I missed it in the previous lineup where they had the X series before, but I digress. So this is the breakdown of all the devices and their price points as on 12th of August. So the prices may vary again. So moving forward to round 1. Now here I had to change the scoring system a bit because in the previous video it was a lot more clear cut as to which devices fall into which category. But here all the processors are within 10% of each other, which makes it a bit difficult to say which one is definitely better than the other. So I have got a scoring system for the processors with the highest performing processors getting a 10, and then the next tier getting a 9 and an 8 and so on. So if we look at the processors here, the Helio G90T present in the Realme 6 comes out on top, which gets 10 points. Then come the Snapdragon 730, 730G and the 720G. The three of them are very close to each other with a delta of around 2 to 5%, which is within a rounding error. So the devices which have that are the Realme Note 9 Pro Max, the Realme Note 9 Pro, the Redmi 6 Pro, the Poco M2 Pro, the Poco X2 and the Moto One Fusion Plus. So all these fall under the same tier and all of these devices get 9 points. Coming down another step, we come to the Helio G85 present in the Redmi Note 9, which gets 8 points. And coming again to the next step, which is the Helio P70, which is in the Oppo F15, gets 7 points. Then comes the Snapdragon 665 present in the Vivo Y50, which gets 6 points, and the Exynos 9611 present in the Samsung M31s gets 5 points, and the Exynos 850 in the A21s gets 4 points. Now a point to make here is the Exynos processors are pretty bad, and having the Exynos 9611 in the 30,000 bracket as well shows you how weak it is, and even the bottom of the grid, even in the price budget 10,000 rupees below. So I would not recommend the Samsung devices, but let's see how far they go. So that's round 1 for you. Coming on to round 2. Here I've chosen round 2 to be about the displays. Now nearly all of the devices have a 1080p by 2400 pixel resolution, except the Moto One Fusion Plus, which is 1080p by 2340, and it's just a bit off, and the Redmi Note 9 again, which is 1080p 2340, which is a bit off, but I can accept both of them. But the stellar option here that surprised me was the Samsung A21s with a 720p by 1600 pixel resolution. Now here I have to deduct a point, so the Samsung A21s gets -1 in this ranking. And then there are two more notable brands which excel in the display department, that is the Realme series. The Realme 6 and 6 Pro both have 90Hz refresh rate screens, so both of them get +1 point. And the Poco X2 with a shocking 120Hz refresh rate. I could give this +2 points, but I know that the 120Hz takes a toll on the battery life, so I'm just going to give it +1. Talking about the size of these devices, all of them are 6.4 inches and above, and a bit too big in my opinion, because you cannot use any of these devices single-handedly, like going from one corner of the device to the other corner without maneuvering your hand and different ways and suffering there. So I'm not going to go comment about that anymore, because that's another rant for another video. Now the interesting thing here is the build quality of all these devices is pretty similar, in a sense that all of them are plastic with a few glass backed devices, but also have plastic rails. So this is a trend with this budget segment. And one good thing that I've seen is all of these devices have a 3.5mm jack. That's a good thing which I like, but I miss in the higher tier segment, because I can't use my Audio Technicas on most of the modern smartphones. But I digress. So the tier list point system now marks the Redmi 6 at 10 points, with +1 point making it 11, the Poco X2 and the Realme 6 Pro coming up at 10 points, the Note 9 Pro Max, the Note 9 Pro, the Poco M2 Pro and the Fusion Plus coming at 9 points, the Note 9 coming at 8 points, the A15 coming at 7, the Y50 coming at 6, the M31s, yeah, it's bad, coming at 5, and the A21s at the bottom of the barrel with 3 points. Coming on to round 3 with cameras. Now this is an interesting topic, because all of these devices claim to have quad camera setups at the rear. Now you already know what my opinion is with quad camera sensors with two useless cameras, that is the depth camera and the macro camera. All of these devices have the same pitfall, so I'm not going to deduct any points for anybody. But coming on to the main sensor, that is the main camera of the devices, nearly all of them have either a 48 megapixel camera or a 64 megapixel camera, except the Vivo Y50, which has a disappointing 13 megapixel main sensor. I don't know how optimized it is, but compared to the rest, it's pretty weak and gets a -1 for me. But there aren't that many differences with all the devices. With nearly all of them have 8 megapixel wide camera, except the M31s, which has a 12 megapixel wide camera, and the Realme 6 Pro also has a 12 megapixel wide camera, which gives them both +1 point. Now the next most important topic that people use is the recording resolution of the rear camera. Now nearly all the budget devices are capable of 4K 30, except 4 devices here. The Vivo Y50 does max out at 1080p 30, so does the Oppo F15, so does the Samsung A21s and the Redmi Note 9. So all 4 of these devices get a -1 point. Now coming on to the selfie cameras, all of them have sensors ranging from 13 to 30 plus megapixels, but out of all of these cameras, there is just one device that can do 4K 30 at the selfie level, which is the Samsung M31s, which is surprising because it gets a plus point over there. Now coming on to battery, Nearly all of them have 4000 mAh plus batteries, so they can easily last you a day of medium to light usage. So that is not much of an issue, so nobody gets a negative point there. But now I have to start nitpicking at the devices to find faults which can separate the more devices more clearly, so I can help you make a more decisive decision. So if I am going to nitpick, I'm going to go for the few things that not many people look for, but it is a very important feature for many. Now, for example, expandable storage. Now all of them have the option of expandable storage, but out of all these devices there are two devices that use a hybrid mode. That is, you cannot use expandable storage if you are using both the SIM card slots. So the Poco X2 and the Moto One Fusion Plus both have a hybrid SIM slot which incorporates either two SIM cards or one SIM card and one memory card. So I'm going to have to give both of them -1 points, but I'm going to give the Fusion Plus a bit of a leeway because it starts at a 128 GB variant, so you wouldn't have the need to go for a memory card in the first place. But the X2 deserves a -1. Coming on to Bluetooth, all of the devices are either 5.0 or 5.1 versions, except the Oppo F15, which has a 4.2 version of Bluetooth. It's a pretty small thing, but it matters to people to have the latest of the versions, or if they have to have two different devices playing at the same time. So I'm going to deduct 1 point for the F15. And now coming on to the nitty-gritty details, this storage interface, that is, most of you have heard the term the UFS 2.1 or the UFS 3.0 storage is being used. So that is the differentiating factor here with the usage of eMMC, that is embedded multimedia card, and UFS, which is universal flash storage. Now eMMC has been here for a long time, and UFS is a fairly new standard that is taking over slowly, but clearly the UFS standard is a lot faster than the eMMC, and the only reason the eMMC standard is being used is because it is cheaper. So that means the eMMC devices that are the Vivo Y50 and the Samsung A21s will have slower read or write speeds, which will hamper performance, gaming, and even daily use. So I am going to have to deduct 1 point for both of these devices. So tallying up all of the scores right now, we get the Realme 6 and 6 Pro at the top at 11 points each. Even though the 6 has a better processor than the 6 Pro, the 6 Pro pulled it back a bit with a better wide angle camera, so they are pegging together at the number 1 slot. At the number 2 slot, we have the Poco X2 and the M2 Pro, followed by the Moto One Fusion Plus and the Note 9 Pro Max and the Note 9 Pro. All of these devices at 9 points. The Note 9 stands at 7 points. The M31 clawed back a few points and came up to 7 points. The F15 is at 5 points. The Y50 is at 3 points, and the A21 is dead last at 1 point. Now I'm going to draw a line at the Note 9, the Redmi Note 9. Don't get confused with Samsung here because that doesn't come in the budget at all. Yeah, I tried to make a joke, I know it didn't work. But I'm drawing the line at the Note 9 because the M31s, even though it has the same points as the Note 9, is by far a worse device with a worse processor, but it only clawed back points because of the utilities it added. So the M31s, the F15, the Y50 and the A21s are out. So I'm not going to consider any of those devices in the final list. Now the final list is a bit confusing in a sense. The price points of all of these devices are still very close to each other. Like the Redmi 6 and 6 Pro start at 15,999 and 17,999. The Poco X2 starts at 17,499 and the M2 Pro starts at 14,999. But the Poco M2 Pro is just 1,000 rupees cheaper than the Redmi 6, but is has a bit worse performance, as you can see with the points at 11 and 9. So if your budget is a hard 15,000, you can straight away go for the M2 Pro, even though it is just 60 Hz refresh rate. But if you just save a bit more, you can go for the Realme 6 at 90 Hz. But if you really want the highest frame rates, you have to go for the Poco X2 at 17,499. So you have a bit of a mix of an options. Even the Moto One Fusion Plus is a stable device and a reliable device coming from Motorola. And if your budget allows, you can go for the 8GB versions at the Realme 6 and 6 Pro, or even the Poco M2 or the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. All of them are very close to each other in price, but you get the most RAM at the same 128GB storage. I haven't seen any device at 256, but that's understandable for the price point. And I forgot to talk about fast charging, but all of these devices are capable and are equipped with 18 to 33 watt fast charging bricks in the box, so you do not have to worry about any charging or anything like that. So if I'm going to conclude this video, I'm going to say, if your hard budget is 15,000, go for the Poco M2 Pro. But know that if you can add a few more and get the Redmi 6, you will get the best processor here in the lineup and a 90 Hz screen. So that is the median bang of the buck right there. At 16,000 you get the Realme 6, not the Pro version, the 6, with the Helio G90T and 90 Hz refresh rate. Now if you really want to go in depth between the Poco X2, the Note 9 Pro Max, or the Realme 6 or 6 Pro, there is a video made by Namaste Tech who goes into a deeper dive of comparison of these devices with photos. So I'm going to link him in the description and at the top left corner, so go check him out. Let me know if I've missed any device in the video lineup, or if you want me to add another device, or if you want me to do a whole new video on a new segment. Just let me know in the comments. Do you agree with any of these points that I have made, or which feature do you think is the most important to you? Just let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, give it a like, get subscribed, click the bell icon to get notifications of my latest videos. Go check out my previous videos. Stay indoors, stay safe, peace. I know this is a tangent and not really the topic of today's video, but I really wanted to put this out. This is about one of my favorite shows of all time, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now I know most of the people don't love that show, but it is one of my favorite shows of all time, and it just ended this week. I just want to say I loved it from the first episode of season 1 to the finale. So I just want to say hats off to all the crew, the writers, the directors, and everybody who was involved in making the whole series. I just want to say hats off to you. Thank you for the memories, and I just want people to enjoy it as much as I did. That's the reason I'm putting out this message. That's it about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Thank you.